Average marketers love to throw things at the wall to see what sticks. World-class marketers know that there is a systematic and scientific approach to scaling highly successful advertising campaigns. In this video, I'm not only going to show you this scientific and systematic process, but I'm also going to show you how to address your customers' main objections head on and to build a process around this to where you're always defeating every objection your customers might have for not purchasing. And by the end of this video, you'll know how to master handling these objections and use them to skyrocket your sales.
This is Ashton Shanks.
Just move it.
Yo. How's everyone doing? Good? You guys all rested? I'm sure no one went out and had alcohol. You guys all went to bed probably at 8:30. Bright and spry, ready for a presentation, right? Yeah. That's what I thought. Well, today I'm speaking on a topic that I think is really timely. Really timely in a world of iOS 14, platform changes, algorithm changes, and really it's a time for marketers to start leveling up the way they approach marketing, specifically in retargeting, especially when segmentation of audiences is really difficult to try to narrow down, specifically in Facebook. So today I want to show you how to level up your remarketing ability to really double your ad performance when it comes to paid traffic on Facebook by simply leveling up the way you retarget your prospects, your traffic. Before we dive in, like he had mentioned, my name is Ashton Shanks. I'm the CEO of a couple of different companies, Traffic and Funnels, Sales Mentor, Heman Media, and Heman X. In the last 2 years, we've gone from 0 to about 82 staff members full-time. We've gone from 0 to really about $15 million a year. And so today I want to show you my learnings. What have I discovered on this journey of rapid growth, rapid expansion, and ultimately working with really large clients that love to spend a lot of money. I work with great clients in all different kinds of industries, SaaS, D2C, B2B, you name it, we're probably inside of it, and we work with incredible brands and partners around the world. Today I want to show you some of my insights there. As you saw the title of it, Remarketing Wizardry. But what I thought was, consumer psychology is fun, right? Statistics is fun, right? But what's even cooler, what's even more fun, is if I can show you how to master a scientific method approach to your media buying that'll have either your boss, your peers, or your clients think you're performing magic inside of their ad accounts. But to perform wizardry, you must first learn how to master becoming a whiz. And one of my goals today is just simply to see how many times I can say whiz from a stage like this. So we'll see it. Some of you might just try to keep track, keep count of how many times I say it. So how to become a whiz? That's 2. First, you have to understand why your audience isn't purchasing. Using the top 4 objections that I've discovered after spending over $110 million, these are the 4 objections that I've seen consumers have for not purchasing or taking action on your campaigns. The second thing I'm going to show you is how to initiate battle-tested ad frameworks for overcoming each of these objections. Frameworks that you'll be able to apply today that use consumer psychology to overcome either the conscious or the subconscious objections that your market has when they see your ads. And the last thing is I'm going to show you how to zero in on the perfect marketing and remarketing creative and campaign structure that you can leave today, apply today, and start seeing results. So first off though, why is Wiz important? Well, ultimately, one of the problems I see in many of the ad accounts I review, I get the privilege of reviewing hundreds, if not thousands of ad accounts every single year. And one of the things, the common thresholds that I see in ad accounts is that media buyers are kind of taking a throw spaghetti at the wall approach to their marketing, especially since iOS 14. You're not really sure what Facebook's trying to tell you, what the data's telling you, and so you're kind of just throwing everything you can inside of a campaign and just praying that it works. I want to show you how to turn that into a science, a methodical method that you can apply that'll feed data back to you and ultimately tell you more information about your market and how to convert more customers or leads. So why I like scientific approach is because it's systematic. It's something you can count on, something you can measure. And if you do this every time you make a new ad, this is what you want to follow. Going back a little bit to middle school science class, if you guys remember the scientific method, it was define gather, analyze, draw conclusions, right? So for you as media buyers, I want you guys to start doing is every time you create a campaign, start by defining what you're going for. And defining is simply, what is the question you want to conduct an experiment on, right? Or your advertisement around. The next step is gathering. Gather to perform the test with preset expectations and predictions. More media buyers need to start launching campaigns with preset predictions, preset expectations of what they're looking for. The more you can do this, the better and the faster you're going to be able to make decisions. A lot of people have a lot of bleed in their ad accounts because they're launching it just hoping for it to be successful rather than having those preset expectations on what you're looking for. Next is analyze, right? Natural. Look for the patterns and the commonalities in the data. You've got to look for what is the commonalities between campaign A and campaign B, even if the results are different. It's not always just this one loses, so I cut it, and this one's winning, so I keep it on or try to scale it. You've got to try to find the commonalities. When you can find commonalities between campaigns, ad sets, ads, metrics, CPM, CTR, unique outbound click, all of this stuff, when you can find commonalities, it allows you to make decisions much, much faster than the ad account, which has allowed us to become and build the reputation that we have. The next thing is draw conclusions. Drawing conclusions is essentially, does your new data support or disprove your defined questions that you preset? Conclusions should always lead to new questions and expectations. Your ad account should be an ever-evolving testing cycle, experimenting platform for you to test your ideas and theories. So, to recap, it's essentially just define, gather, analyze, draw conclusions, and repeat. That's your goal. And if you can do this, this will ensure that you start looking like a whiz instead of your campaigns taking one. You know what I mean? You guys ever run campaigns and it just feels like nothing you launch ever works, right? Well, if you can do this scientific approach, it'll help you refrain from doing that. So jumping into the W, why? Why isn't your audience purchasing? Well, like I said before, there are 4 main objections that I've seen customers have for not purchasing or converting. The first one is, the ad was just boring or not special, right? We've got to remember that our consumers or our targets are not expecting to see our ads. Assume that your market is in the grocery aisle at Walmart or the nearest grocery store that you have. They're not expecting to see your advertisement. They didn't wake up that morning going, oh, I really hope I get advertised from this one person. Unless you're kind of people like us who are just kind of weird and geek out on that kind of stuff. The second reason is they just don't trust you. There's so many advertisers out there today, they just don't trust you. How are they supposed to trust you? If they've never heard you before, it's cold traffic, they just don't trust you. The third one is they don't believe your claims. This might be different from they could trust you, they might not disapprove of you, but they just don't believe what you're saying. And the last one, they're just not sold. Now that we know the what are the objections people would have for not converting, you want to spend your time figuring out why. Why is that objection their objection? And here are the best ways that I've found to find the why. The first one is you or your competitor's ad comments. It's pretty common for media buyers to look at their own ads, see the comments, see what people are saying, but a lot of you are missing out on the opportunity to look at your competitors' ad comments. Find out what the market is saying about their products, their service. You can find a lot of information from this, and essentially, your competitors are funding your research. Allow their ad spend to give you the data on what to do, what to say, and what not to say. The second area is Goodreads book reviews. I love Goodreads book reviews because if you think about it, the amount of time that you would have to spend with a book on a certain topic is exponentially larger and longer than it would be for them just to like an actor or a competitor's company. Reading a book takes a lot of time, and what you'll find, if you go to goodreads.com, you search books in your topic or about similar products that you would have, people are putting much more time and thoroughness into their reviews because they've spent so much time reading the book. It's a fantastic place, and most of the time you'll get a lot more emotional pain points in those reviews than anywhere else. The next thing is syntax Google searching. This is for some of the OGs in the room. who might know what this is. But if you don't, no worries. Syntax Google searching is essentially the way to add filters to your Google searches. Example, if I wanted to search about a specific keyword or a product or an industry, I could actually go to Google and tell Google to find that keyword, but only on a website that I wanted to search. Example like Instagram or TikTok. If you type in site:instagram.com or site:tiktok.com and then put your keyword in, it'll pull up a list of everything that it's found on that website with those keywords. So for example, you can see here that I've searched teeth whitening. And instantly you can see a link that says discover the best teeth whitening products and popular videos. If you click on that link, it takes you to TikTok, but gives you a complete forum of an organized content role of everything that has that keyword. And you can even see, this shows us the best teeth whitening products on TikTok. As advertisers, you can go here and see exactly what content, what videos are peaking the top of the list on that given platform. You can see the style of the videos that are getting the most traction. You can even see the names of the products that people are paying the most attention to. This is a very easy way to find how your ads should look and what products are best selling right now to find your top competitors. It's a very easy tool to do, and you can apply it instantly. The next thing is initiate. How do you launch battle-tested frameworks to overcome these objections? Now that we know what the top 4 reasons are, how do we essentially create ads that will overcome those objections most efficiently? And here's what we found. On the first one, the ad was boring or not special. What you need to overcome or prove in your ads is why are you different? If it was boring or not special, you need to prove to your market why should they stop in the middle of their day and give you time. Ultimately, we found 3 different ad styles to best overcome this objection. The first one is intro to mechanism. Intro to mechanism ad, if you don't know what it is essentially it's from the copywriting world. And the mechanism in any company, I like to always think of it as the moat for the business. If you think of a business like a castle, you want to protect your castle. The moat around it is what's going to allow you to best serve that, to ensure that your competitors can't easily cross it and take over your castle. And a mechanism is essentially the proprietary person, method, or technology that allows you to fulfill on the claim or promise that you're serving in your ad. So here's an example of a mechanism ad. We had a client that essentially had a liquid supplement, no powders, you didn't have to mix anything, you could dump it right in. And so what we wanted to do was, how can we further project to the market how special we are? It's one thing to say liquid supplement, but that doesn't sound sexy. So we came up with accelerated absorption technology. We wanted to find a way to present to the market that there's not a single other product out there that could mimic this. And so we wanted to create a mechanism so that while we could say liquid supplement, we needed to show the market why it being a liquid supplement is better than all of the alternatives. Hence, accelerated absorption technology was born. The next way that you can create an ad to overcome this objection is an us versus them. This is one of the most classic and effective ads that you can apply to your remarketing to prove to your market why are you different. Here's 2 examples. The first one, I believe on your guys', on your left, you'll see an ad from Onnit. It's a very perfect example of what an us versus them looks like. Essentially, what you want to do is create this yin and yang approach in your ad that very clearly demonstrates why you're special, why you're different. And you don't even have to call out specific competitors so long as they kind of understand what you're leaning towards. You can see it says 6 hours of energy and focus. This one crashes. One is less jittery, one causes jitters. One is caffeine free, one has 150 milligrams of caffeine. You want to make it very clear to your audience of why your product stands among the rest. On the other side, you don't even have to really compare it directly, but you do want to make it obvious about what you're doing in your ad. You can see even inside the headline, no settling for 5 hours of energy, and then the hook of the ad is half day, not cutting it. It's very clear who we're going after and who we're trying to compete against. And then in the image, we want to list out all the benefits and features that would stand among the rest inside of our marketplace. This is a very good way and a very ad that every marketer, everyone who's spending money on Facebook should have these ads in their remarketing. The next ad, the final one that we found to overcome this objection best, is urgency and FOMO. Now, urgency and FOMO is probably the least effective ad version of these three. However, it's the one that I see marketers lean on the most. Here's when you should use this. Essentially, we all know that sometimes we're going to be marketing products that are not starkly different from our competitors. Sometimes our job is to advertise a product that is pretty much what you can get anywhere else. So when you have a moment where your product can't be special, you must make your offer special. You must reveal to them why you are still different in an us versus them. Even when your product might not be different, your offer better be. And so presenting to your market what the offer is with a limited time offer or a unique discount, you've got to present this to them and remind them that while your products might not be different, they're not going to get this offer anywhere else. So they got to go with you. Objection number 2, they don't trust you. When it comes to not trusting you, you need to prove to them who you are. Because while they might want your product, while they might want your offer, they just don't trust you. And that's fine. Here are the top ads that we've seen overcome it. The first one is UGC, then USP, and testimonial. But before we dive into showing you what these ads look like, you need to understand how people build trust when it comes to ads. There are 4 ways people build trust when it comes to ads. The first one is clarity. This one's really, really important. I think one of the biggest mistakes I see media buyers making right now is they're spending all of their time trying to be clever, trying to be funny, rather than being clear. Consumers need to know what their process is. How is this product going to look when I get it? What's the timeline for me to receive it? How's the checkout process? What does the product actually do? The more you can give them clarity, you're going to build trust naturally. The next thing is you want to build authority. This can be proof. Proof is a great way to build trust because at the end of the day, if you're the only one in the world that can offer what you do, or you're someone who's accredited, people who have given awards to it, acknowledge publicly how much of an authority you are, that's another easy way to build trust. The next way is affinity. I personally think that this is the next biggest move that brands need to make going forward. In a world where they can buy essentially the same product on hundreds of websites, and as e-commerce continues to grow, you must find other ways to build trust with your market. The best thing you can do is start building affinity. Essentially, can you get your customers to buy from you because they like you, because they think you're funny, or they like the way your brand is built? They are engaging with you. It's not just about a transactional purchase, but almost a relational building exercise. That when customers buy from you, they're coming into your tribe. So that's another great way to build trust. And the final way is the most expensive way to build trust, but this is what the largest companies in the world use to build their customer base. And this is familiarity. Essentially, this is if you can get your product in front of them many times, naturally, either consciously or subconsciously, you will build trust. This is why companies pay millions of dollars just to get their products inside of a movie, inside of a music video, because they want their product in front of their customers. Whether it's directly or it's in the background, you will either consciously or subconsciously build familiarity in your prospect's mind. This is why companies like Coca-Cola or Pepsi or Bud Light or Doritos, they don't focus on direct response, they focus on impressions. Can they buy a certain number of impressions or a frequency count in their ad campaigns? Because what they want is the next time you go to the store, that you will either consciously or subconsciously choose their product simply because you've seen it so many times already in your life. These are the 4 ways you build trust. And the better you know that, the better you can create these ad campaigns. So starting with UGC. UGC is a very popular and exploding advertising concept or format. The reason for this is when your brand does not already have authority or affinity, then sometimes you can borrow the affinity or the authority from celebrities, from people that your market is already paying attention to, right? The other side of UGC is just simply having consumers or customers record videos or testimonials of them using the product. The reason this is so effective is because when your consumers or your prospect sees another user, a non-professional, non-heavily edited video, it sometimes tears down that wall of this is a brand speaking to me and turns into more of a consumer-to-consumer conversation. And when you can do that, it builds trust and kind of lowers the barriers because now they're getting to see increased clarity of what it actually looks like when a consumer is using your product. Do they enjoy it? How does it look? How does it work? How big is it? Sometimes that's even little things like that will build trust inside of the prospect's mind. So UGC, in my opinion, will continue to grow, continue to do better, simply because the idea is engaging a consumer-to-consumer conversation. The next ad is testimonial. Now, I'm sure you guys have heard the testimonial ads before, but I want to show you a new spin on a testimonial ad that we've seen to be very, very effective in remarketing. When you think about where are consumers currently purchasing products, where are they spending their time? Most consumers are spending a lot of time on Amazon than almost any other e-commerce platform. And so what we wanted to do at Heman was to start thinking of how can we kind of replicate the Amazon experience for consumers. Example, when you go to a product on Amazon, what do you typically do? You'll check out the product, look at the pictures, but then normally you're going to scroll down and see the testimonials or the reviews that other people have left. So what we started doing in our body copy was replicating the same look and style that you would feel on Amazon. Can we get the quotations? Can we have the 5 stars? And then give them a full list of testimonials so that they don't have that objection already going into our website. As soon as they go to the website, they're not really looking for more reviews because we've already overcame that objection inside of the ad copy. We've made it easier for our prospects to make a decision. That's ultimately what you're looking to do. The next style is USP, or unique selling proposition. Unique selling proposition is essentially what is unique to you that no one else can say. Example, this was a client of ours who had the world's first instantized creatine. Essentially, it was 100% soluble inside of liquid. And so what we wanted to demonstrate on the front end to our prospects is how they can compare other people's products to ours, but giving it very directly to them that we are unique in what we offer. Here's how you can create your own USP. First, ask yourself the question, what can you promise that no one else can promise or is currently promising? Or what can you do that no one else is doing or is willing to do? Finally, what can you prevent that no one else can prevent? Sometimes, if you can't easily find, a promise that no one else is doing, or you can't do something that other people aren't doing, meaning your product is a little bit more common, start thinking about what can you prevent for them that no one else is either talking about or willing to do. AKA, what if you had a lifetime return policy? Or what if you had a 100-day money-back guarantee? Or, on products like this, how can you prevent bloating? Or how can you help them prevent the lowered stamina that sometimes other creatine products will give? When you can't give them something, what can you remind them that you're taking away? A lot of marketers are not focusing on this, and almost instantly, you will feel unique even if your value prompts are the same. Objection number 3. They don't believe your claims. This is different than they don't trust you. They might trust you, they just don't believe what you're saying. So your goal is, how can you prove what you're saying? Ultimately, there's UGC, testimonial, and demonstration. Now, we've already gone over 2 of them. You just need to ensure when you create those ads, they're uniquely different because one should be focused on who you are, the other one is focused on what you're saying, right? Stark difference there. But to talk about demonstration is one of the oldest versions of marketing. This goes way back before online advertising. Demonstration marketing is one of the most classic ways of selling. You guys remember infomercials, or even before that in the marketplaces, when people would be on the streets selling and trading, they would be demonstrating the products. So here's an example of one of the ads that we were using for a client, where essentially one of our best ads ever was simply a video about 5 to 6 minutes of us literally just demonstrating the wallet itself. Here's how you can create your own demonstration ad. Inside of it, you first want to demo the pain. Example for this client, our pain essentially was avoiding bulky wallets. Wallets that hurt when you sit on it. Wallets that are just uncomfortable. So we wanted to show people the demonstration side. So the first part of the video is just really just sitting. It's uncomfortable. Maybe your back pain hurts after some time. The next thing you want to go into is demoing the benefit. Show yourself removing all of the cards from the bulky wallet and inserting them into a new wallet that allows you to insert the same amount of credit cards or cash, and it's thinner. It's easier to sit on. Then finally, this is the biggest one that you want to apply, is the benefit of the benefit. Right, we could just talk about how it's a thin wallet, and that might get some conversions. But a lot of times, our angles, our value prompts can be so much more potent if you dive deeper into what's the benefit of having that. So for example, we could talk about how over the term of your life, that your back pain typically starts, and one of the big 5 reasons for people to have back pain later on in life is having bulky wallets, not sitting correctly. But if I can tell you the benefit of having a thinner wallet and how it'll help your life when you're 60, 70 years old, it reduces your chances of back pain over the long term, it instantly reduces the cost in the prospect's mind. All of a sudden, a $100 wallet or a $150 wallet, when compared to increasing your life enjoyment when you're 60, is not so much of a deal. Now, how to overcome the next objection. Number 4, they're just not sold. This is when you've got to focus on how can you say what you're saying in a new way. Sometimes the market just is tired of hearing all the claims. They're tired of being bombarded by advertisers and marketers, all saying the same thing. And when you're in a state like that, you need to create ads that say what you're trying to say, but in a new way that they haven't heard before. There are several different types of ads that we've seen overcome this. Mechanism stage, pure humor, brand new appeal. And we've talked about one of them already, so let's dive into brand new appeal. The first one that we want to do in the new appeal is we want to really focus on alternatives. What is the benefit of the benefit of the benefit of what we're offering? Something that maybe they haven't heard before. What you can see in the beginning of this copy, I found this review on their website, and I couldn't have written a better one myself. It says, like a rock. I'm 50 years old, and I've been lifting on and off for most of my life. Best results I've ever had, and my wife of 28 years commented many times, you are like a rock. This creatine is great. Thank you. A lot of people like to talk about the non-bloatiness of this product, or how this creatine will help you get stronger, leaner, faster. But we always got to remember, why would someone even work out in the first place? For most people, it is not just to look great. And especially when you can find people who have been married 28 years, and now all of a sudden, it's spicing up other areas of their life. Like a rock, sure, could be his body, but let's face it, when I say like a rock, multiple things probably come to your mind, right? So what we want to do is show them a new appeal, a new reason why our product is better than others. Here's how you can create your own new appeal. The first way is the benefit of the benefit is oftentimes the best appeal. Next, ask yourself, what are my competitors not saying? Whether it's controversial, outrageous, or trendy. A lot of marketers, competitors, your competitors are slow. So the faster you can pick up on trends, change your language to match the trends that are currently happening, typically the more potent your advertising is going to be. Next, sex sells. Always remember that sex sells. At the end of the day, if you can find a link between your product, your service, your business, ultimately giving everyone what we want more of, typically it's more potent in advertising. So always remember, if you can find a path to that end point, typically it's a good idea. Next one is pure humor. Pure humor. This is an example of an advertisement or a client that came to us for a product that they were selling. They got no sales. They were trying for months, nothing was moving, products weren't selling, and when we came on board, to be honest, I already knew why. That was the creative that they were running. Really not that cool. And when you think about it, it's just a metal sign at the end of the day, and it serves no purpose other than humor. So what we wanted to do was start creating ads that allowed us to tap into the humor. We started adding this chicken into every creative image that we had, and sales skyrocketed. You can see this ad has 8.7 thousand likes and 3.2 thousand shares. That was in the matter of 4 weeks. Simply because we realized we could tap into our market psychology and present to them the humor. Sometimes you need to be more clear on what you're presenting to your audience so that they don't have to think of how funny the sign is. Show them how great the product is. Well, how you do this is essentially aim to draw connections through demographic and psychographic language. You can see inside the copy, we even said, proudly made in the heart of Texas. We don't just be general and say, made in America, we want to be unique. And then have fun with this. Finally, and then I'll wrap up, find which ads are producing the best result and iterate and test. This is the Z. How do you zero in on what your market is most responding to? Here's the function of how we create campaigns inside of a campaign that wants to overcome these objections. When I don't know what my market is going to respond to, I create a CBO campaign, and every single column is an ad set. Each ad set is serving a different objection that my market most likely has, and then I create an ad for each of these objections inside of those ad sets. Run it on CBO, allow Facebook to tell you which objection your market most has, and then create more of those ad styles. This will tell you what your market is not converting on and the reason why they're not converting. This gives you insane amounts of data about what you need to do inside of maybe even your website. How can you overcome those objections before they ever even get to your website? This is massive data in how we create campaigns in every account that we start with. And then from there, we let data tell us what performs, and we create more iterations of those examples. Thanks, guys. You can follow me on Instagram if you want more. Had a lot of blast. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Ashton Shanks. Hey, buddy, stay here, stay here, stay here, stay here. We got some questions for you. That was amazing. Thank you so much. All right, I don't want to let this man go already. I'll let you stay here because we are ready for some questions. Are you?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what I want to do here, sorry for catching you by surprise.
All good.
We want to enter your brain, right?
Let's do it.
So guys, for you, this is your chance to get your questions answered. I know your mind might be spinning now after all this value share here on stage. But now, please, grab your phones. Yeah, grab the phones. Go to Slido, www.sli.do, and enter your questions. They will come right here. And yeah, then we'll make sure that we get those questions answered. All right, I have a little cheat screen here. So let's see. All right. First question's coming in. Are you ready?
Yep, absolutely. Let's roll.
All right, let's just go with the first one. All right, you guys keep hammering in those questions. We'll make sure to go as many as we can. We got 9 minutes and 6 seconds left. Here we go. First question. Should we agree that Facebook, as a first-party data, a place we used to get high-value traffic, lost significant portion of its power with the changes? What do you say?
It depends. It depends on what your focus is on. If you're talking about media buying efficiency, absolutely. The data loss is significant. But we have to remember those users have not left the platform. They're still using the platform. The unfortunate mistake is a lot of people were depending on media buying and not marketing. So when the media buying became less efficient, well, their marketing had to stand on its own, and so people's results crashed. It hasn't necessarily lost its power as a platform, but their ability to target good users has gone down, which essentially just means your marketing skill and sophistication has to go up. but those users are still there, and people still spend money.
Right, so you just have to get better, right?
Absolutely.
Well, that's why you're here. So this is a great opportunity because all those people are not here, well, they just gotta lose out. All right, good. Next question. So how do you properly brief influencers? How would you do that?
Strict SOP process. Too many people are jumping into influencer engagements and expecting the influencers to know what to do or how to do it. Whenever we engage with an influencer, we will send a very strict SOP and guide, a video walkthrough, and an example for them to follow. You need to create your engagements with influencers like a monkey is going to do it. You need to give them every single detail and even give them examples of what you're looking for if you want them to be successful.
That's interesting. Influencer equals monkey. That's a good image. I got that board now. Okay.
If you guys have been working with influencers, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
No, I agree. That's true. Okay. So you basically build an SOP around that and just make sure that they follow that. How much freedom do you actually give influencers when doing that?
Very little.
Very little.
Very little.
Okay.
The higher level up you go in influencers, typically the less you can tell them what to do.
Yeah.
But if you're working with more medium to smaller, you want to tell them exactly what to do and reject it whenever they don't do it. And our contracts, make sure you always have a contract, guys. Always, always, always have contracts, release forms, all of that, because you need the ability to reject it when they don't do what you want. And you also need to confine them to a timeline. If you don't give them a timeline in the contract, they will waste so much time, and then by the point, you don't even need it anymore.
All right, yeah, that's a good one. Okay, all right, I see more questions coming in. So people, get your phones out and put your questions in here. We got 6 minutes and 27 seconds left. Okay, next question. Where are we? E-com brand, DTC, luxury sleep products. Our main customer objection is price. And we want to increase our prices. What are your thoughts for dealing with it?
So in a moment where it's a luxury item, typically what you want to do is, it's called cost inversion bias. People will typically always avoid losing something rather than the pleasure of gaining it. Meaning, you losing $100 is much more painful than the pleasure you gain from getting $100. So when it's a product that's not a necessity or really doesn't solve a pain, focus on what they're missing by not doing it. Start talking about the power of sleep, what it does for the body, what it does for focus. Could you find facts about when people sleep better, they make more money, or grow faster in their jobs, or they have better sex? Any of that kind of stuff, and you can present it to your market. That's going to convert a lot more people rather than just talking about how cool it's made and how unique it is. Focus on what they're missing by not taking action.
All right, thanks for that. Okay, next question. How do you do the retargeting interval in the ad set level with CBO campaigns? By the way, guys, you can upvote questions. If you don't have own questions, make sure to upvote so we get the most important ones on top. All right.
Beautiful. So interval, I'm assuming that means like time, like how big do I want to extend the time for entering in those buckets? I typically like to keep them all the same. Keep all of them the same, and anywhere from 30, 60, or 90 days, depending on your volume of traffic. If you have a lot of traffic, meaning you guys spend at least $1,500 a day or more, you can do 30 days, and that's typically good. I would engage in all top 75% video views, all website visits, all ad carts, all ad payment infos. Those are typically your best audiences. Stack them together and make each ad set the same. That way, again, this is more of a controlled experiment where you're deciding on which objection is best rather than what different audiences are.
Perfect. Next question, 5 upvotes already. Which KPI do you check before deciding which ad works and which doesn't?
There's a lot. So typically, based on where Facebook is right now, I'm looking at unique cost per outbound click, I'm looking at CTR, I'm looking at CPM, and then I'm watching the video engagement metrics. If you can keep an eye on how many people are watching 25% versus 50% versus 75%, that'll actually even give you insights on how the ad or the video is doing itself. If you can actually create the custom metrics, this is really in the weeds, but if you can create custom metrics and you do, like, for example, 75% video views divided by 25% video views, that'll actually tell you how engaging that ad video is. Because it'll give you the conversion percentage of people who watch 25% versus the 75. And if it's a small percentage, that means you're losing them somewhere in the middle. And you can use that to create a bunch of different metrics like video through play versus 50% versus 75%, all of it. But there's a lot of different metrics. But what you're looking to do, is to set baseline metrics. baseline metrics. When you cannot count on the conversion data, meaning purchases, add to carts, all of that to be accurate, you want to set baseline metrics on the click cost, CTR cost, CPM, and video engagement. Because all of that is first-party data, and you can actually count on it. It's accurate. So the better you can set baselines of, hey, when this campaign was crushing, these were our baseline metrics, you use that to compare every other campaign that you run.
That's amazing. Thank you. Love that answer. Next one, we got 2 minutes and 47 seconds left. So, what are you finding the best performing product sectors at the moment?
It varies. Anything, and this definitely varies because you have to understand I'm mostly United States-based markets, so it's going to change pretty dramatically. But anything that is survival-based, anything that is, that you would need to use on a daily basis, those are really doing well. The ones I've seen get hurt the most are either luxury or commodities, like food, D2C food products. Those things can be pretty difficult unless they're more hygiene-based or health-based.
All right, next question. What are you finding? Oh, sorry, we had that. Do you think the remarketing wizardry framework will work just as good for SaaS as it does for e-commerce?
Oh, absolutely. We use this across the board. We use this in lead gen, B2B, SaaS, software. The important thing is human psychology is pretty much always the same. So the better you can understand why a market doesn't work or it doesn't convert, the objections are the same in any industry. You would just want to tailor those concepts to whatever industry that you're actually in. But the objections stay the same and the ad styles stay the same.
Cool. I'm keeping the best to the last. So next question is, what do you do if an ad set or campaign doesn't scale?
So I would always start typically on what is your diagnosis process, meaning why do you believe it did not work? This is why starting every campaign with preset expectations is really important. Because if you go into it blind, you kind of have to guess, really. It could be that maybe your targeting wasn't actually proven. It worked at a small budget, but it's not working at a big budget. Or you didn't give it enough time to actually have statistical power or significance. So really, it's, did you start it in the beginning with the right expectations? But if it normally, in my perspective, if it doesn't work, you have to try to figure out, was it either A, was my audience proven already? If so, I ignore that. Was my angle or creative proven already? If so, ignore that. Sometimes it's just Facebook taking a dump, which happens all the time. So you have to try to figure out which area is it most likely the failure. Either A, if you believe that you had everything right, sometimes just duplicating is the best way to go. Give it another shot, another effort at doing it. The other route is starting from most likely the angle of the messaging was off, especially if it's retargeting. They've already proven some level of interest in what you have to offer. So most likely, they just didn't like what you had to say. So you need to say it in a new way or find another way to communicate with them to push them over the edge. Maybe that's a fast action discount or another type of offer or a bonus, anything like that to get them over the fence.
Perfect. We're out of time, but the highest rating question, very briefly, what do you mean exactly by sex sells?
It's what every human wants, basically. Sex is a powerful motivator. You think about the biggest companies, normally they always have some type of sex angle. Think Axe body spray, right? Its purpose is to make you smell better. But in their commercials, every time someone sprays it, flocks of women come and ravage them, are all over them, right? The better you can drive people towards their primal instincts, which is to create new people and to survive. The more your ads can pull them back to the primal state, rather than the top level stuff, you're engaging with their most inner instincts, what their DNA tells them they need. And the better you can connect your angles to that, the more potent your advertising.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. Big hand for Ashley Shanks. Thanks, buddy.
If you're a marketing nerd like me and you want more content just like this, then like and follow for more.